The only reason I took a sigh then is because I had to have a little think about what I was going to say, man, even though I've been doing the thinking for the last, 45 minutes or something. Who do we trust now then? Who do we trust? I've just been sat there with my daughter and I think I put her to sleep because I was saying to her that this is a lesson that I say to her and her brother about looking at people, trusting them, and thinking that they're going to give you happiness. So I was sitting there with my daughter and I said, it doesn't matter whether you've got future friends, teachers, whoever. Always have that part of your brain where you question them. You know, I said all these famous people that you listen to, songs and that, enjoy the music, enjoy all of that, but don't put all your faith in them. And she says to me, why? I said, because at your age, and a little bit older up until my late 20s, this is what I did with football players, Tottenham players in particular. And I said to my daughter, do they care about me? Of course they don't. And I don't expect them to either. But as a youngster, I did. You know, if Teddy Sheringham scored a goal for Tottenham, it felt like he did that for me. When Harry Kane, Gareth Bale, all these people score goals, Defoe, felt like they did that for me. But even though they probably didn't do it for me, at least I had that feeling. Who's doing that for me now? Who do I look at in that squad and think, you're going to pull us through this one? You know, Tottenham have very rarely been in, relegation scraps, so to speak. But even when we're mid-table, trying to get top four, trying to win a cup, trying to do something, there's a metric towards it. I've always had someone that I look at and think, at least you get it, or at least I can trust you. We ain't got none. There is absolutely nobody in the team. And if there was somebody that I thought maybe, he's just added to the list now, Mickey van der Ven. I understand instinctively you might do that. But everybody was trying to tell me, Mickey van der Ven, the rumours of his disrespect to Igor Tudor. They ain't true. His disrespect to Thomas Frank. That ain't true. So what we're going to say? He got sent off, did something cowardly as the captain. That ain't true. How many people are going to wear this armband in this month and act like a fool? We give it to Romero, get sent off against Man United. We give it to Van der Ven, you get sent off for Crystal Palace. We give it to Pedro Porro. He's rolling around on the floor when we're 3-1 down, and then he throws his toys out the pram when he's going off on coming off. Now, I don't really know what that was all about, because I just looked at him and thought, I don't really care what it's about. I know what type of man you are anyway. I know deep down you're just one of these little weasels that wants to make it look like you care by rolling around on the floor and shouting at refs and shouting at players. We've got too many players that do that. You got Pedro Porro, makes a mistake, shouts at someone. Vicario was doing it today. He's trying to tell a defender how to take a free kick when you don't even know how to pass. You don't know how to command your box. You don't know how to do your job. But you're trying to tell somebody that's on the pitch how to do theirs. We've got too many players that are already thinking about their next move. Van der Ven. We give him the captaincy. But he's already thinking about Barcelona, Liverpool. But even if he doesn't get any of them two moves, Van der Ven's going to be happy to go to Bournemouth. Why? Because Bournemouth are going to stay up. If Van der Ven gets to go to Palace, I'll go to Palace. I'll level up and then I might get a move to a Liverpool or Barcelona once I prove myself again. I'm not going to be able to do it at Tottenham. I said it to my cousin earlier. I guarantee you Romero and Van der Ven come back for the Atletico game and somehow we get a result. If we get a result against Atletico Madrid with all these players, that will really piss me off. Because to me, that signals that you're happy to perform in the Champions League, but you're not happy to perform in the Premier League. Why? Because if Tottenham go down, that suits you and you get a move to Spain. So like I said it to my cousin earlier, Pedro Porro. If he plays well against Atletico and somehow we get through and then we get to a semi-final somehow, he knows that that's a move to Villarreal, Seville, Bilbao. Is that better than that? Better than what we're doing here? Cool. He'll go to a World Cup. Speak to all these peers, whether they be at a top club or an Atletico, cool. There's too many clubs in and around Europe that are a better experience than Tottenham right now. So do I blame them for looking to leave? No. It's not just on the players. It's just not on Igor Tudor. Like I said in my previous video, we've got too many people at this club that have got a narcissistic approach to life. They all look at this and think this is fine. And they thrive in chaos. This chaos is just mental. For me, this is like my sister being with a narcissist and all I can do is watch. Because as a fan, that's all we can do. My son was upstairs crying because Mickey van der Ven is his guy. And my son weren't crying in a wimp way. He was crying out of frustration. And I felt it because my eyes were filling up with water. Not because I'm a wimp, through anger. You know when you felt so angry that your eyes are filling up with water? Like if you look at my eyes, they probably look glazed now. Because it's like, how is it that we've got players that are getting paid so much money and not doing the business? The only players that I look at that need to be playing from now on are players that know that if they don't win this game, they're in the championship. Why is Richarlison not getting minutes? He should be starting instead of Colin Wani. Colin Wani don't care. He go back to France. He probably get a little move to Lille. Nice. Living the dream in south of France or something. Bordeaux. He ain't bothered. We've got Conor Gallagher, relegation clause in your contract. Xavi Simons as well. So in a weird way, I respect Igor Tudor because he drops the players that know that it's win-win for you. Xavi Simons, everyone's like, why is he not playing? He's not playing because he knows that if he goes down, he gets a move. So does Conor Gallagher. That's why these people are on the bench. But even when Igor Tudor tries to mix and blend with people that their careers depend on it, you still get that. Even if Mickey van der Ven stayed on the pitch, I said to my son, and we both agreed, we felt like idiots. Felt like absolute idiots jumping around and celebrating that goal. What was we doing that for? I jumped around and went mad. I had my son on my shoulders, we're going mad. But as soon as the dust settled, I remember looking at him. I said, you know what, Ost? I feel like an idiot for doing that. He's like, why? I said, I don't trust this team to go 2-0 up. As soon as I said that, penalty, red card, 3-1. It feels like I'm a psychic when it comes to Tottenham. I just know these things are going to happen. But why am I investing my time in it? You know, no one can call me a glory hunter. We don't get glory. You know, I always say it, there's decisions I've had to make in my life that are a lot harder than letting go of Tottenham. Why am I still with Tottenham then? There's jobs that I've loved. I've had to leave because of such and such. That's probably an easier thing to do. To get rid of Tottenham, but I don't. But what am I doing? If I went and found myself a woman today and she was causing me stress for 2 weeks, see you later, bab. Less of that. That could be a woman that's a 10-10, she's attractive. 2 weeks of stress, I'm all right, man. I want my peace. This is what I keep telling people. I tell my friends, I tell my mum, my sisters, my kids. I want to live my life peacefully. Why am I putting up with this then? You do everything that you try and do as a fan. I don't buy the merchandise. I don't go to the games. I don't know how many invites I get where people are, I've got a spare ticket, home or away, and I'll say no because I stand on principle. I know that there's loads of other fans that ain't going to want to do it because these are the times where they want to spend time with their son or their daughter, or they don't want to lose a season ticket in case it goes well. And I respect it. But my thing is, the only way you're going to make a difference is today. Them fans walking out at half-time, they didn't do it because of a statement. That wasn't planned. But that's what we need to start doing. Because I wasn't expecting that, but it happened. The owners will look at that, and that's the only way you might get them triggered. That's money that's been paid in, but are then people coming back next week? No. but half of them are probably season ticket holders. It's just a mess. It's got to the point, yeah. I'm watching Tottenham Hotspur, and I'll be real with you guys, yeah. I'm watching Tottenham Hotspur on Bet365. So I'm not betting on them, but you know when you can see the little arrow going left and going right? I'm watching Tottenham on that. Because the game I'm watching is a little bit behind, I'm just watching it because I'm waiting for Tottenham to concede. My son has to tell me, Dad, don't tell me what the score is, because he knows that I'm looking at my phone. If you could watch me on a camera today, you would have seen I spent more time on my phone to see if there's a goal going in than watch the game. Because I'd rather watch that and know that there's a goal happening now than watch the game. Everybody that knows me long enough knows I don't watch Tottenham or football like that. But Tottenham are crap. The Premier League's crap. And I can't watch crap football anymore. But it really don't help when my team are the worst of the lot. There isn't a team in the Premier League right now that's worse than Tottenham. Positionally wise, okay. Football wise, there isn't one. So what do we do here? Do we get rid of Igor Tudor? I say yes, because he shouldn't have been in the first place. But who do we trust the board to go and get the right person in? Because they got the wrong person in the first place. Am I going to trust the directorship are going to go, right, you know, this is untenable, let's go and get someone else? They had one thing to do. There's managers out there that the fans would have gone, oh, what an appointment. And I'm not talking about your top ones. I'm not saying they go and get a Klopp or go and get all these other top European coaches. I'm in a group chat with my best friends. And when I told them I want Sam Allardyce, they thought I was joking. But I was like, no, I'm being serious. Sam Allardyce wouldn't take no rubbish. He'd take it old school and get us a result. And people laughed at me. Now, if we got rid of Igor Tudor and Sam Allardyce came in, I'll be over the moon. Somebody that understands the Premier League, somebody that can get us out of a rut, and somebody that ain't going to take no rubbish. People keep laughing at me. But these are the same people that laughed at me when West Ham were 13 points behind us, and I said, at some point, we'll get dragged into a relegation scrap. These are the same people that are laughing at me when I'm now telling them that 13-point gap is no longer with West Ham, it's with Wolves. Wolves are beating Liverpool's. Wolves are beating Aston Villa's. Wolves are coming out unscathed against Arsenal, the team that beat us 4-1 twice. But I'm supposed to be like, oh, we're going to be fine. I've got more faith in Wolves closing the gap on Tottenham than us breaking away from West Ham. How about that? So, what we're going to do now? I thought we had Forest at home next in the Premier League. Oh, no. Anfield. The one place in the whole of the Premier League that if someone says we need a win, I never want to go to. That's what we've got next. Everyone's talking about Anfield hasn't got the X factor. Oh, they'll have the X factor next week. 10 days' time. All of a sudden, Anfield will become a fortress again because they'll beat us. They'll beat whoever they got next at home. And somehow, even though Liverpool being in a rut, they'll get a top 4 finish. Why is that? Dr. Tottenham. And then we got Forest. We can see it already. Marinakas, Gibbs, White. We've just been beaten 8-0 by Liverpool. Yeah. But you want me to think that we're going to go and get that? I just go as far as saying, if you keep Igor Tudor, we're going down. If you go and get me another manager, we're going down. It doesn't matter what changes there is. My thing is, I've just become accustomed to saying that enjoy Premier League life while you can. Enjoy trying to get on the map on YouTube while you can. Because just like in typical fashion, Tottenham are going to let me down. Just when I'm trying to level up on my YouTube channel. Just when I think, yeah, I'm going to get up and start taking this a bit more serious. Tottenham are going to say, are you going to do that in the Championship, Jake? Nah. On that note, 10 more videos to go.